I got a bunch of emails over the weekend after I kind of alluded to this last week. Last week I said something along the lines of, you should hear the things people have accused me of over the years. And I got a bunch of emails saying, David, what are some of those things? Like, what things have people accused you of? I'm going to give you some of them. Some of these are sad, and I don't really want to make fun of them, and I'll tell you which those are. Some of these are really worthy of being made fun of. But as a general thing, over the years, often people will write in and say, David, the calls you take on the Friday show are obviously pre-recorded, and you're only pretending to be talking to live people, but they're pre-recorded and you already know what they have said, and you're just pretending to react. There's absolutely no evidence of that. That actually sounds really hard to do. Oftentimes people accuse me of stuff that's really difficult. It seems to me it would be really hard to record phone calls, once, one way through, and then remove my voice from them and then re-record my reactions to the things the call. Like, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that's a classic. For years, people have been saying these are pre-recorded phone calls that David reacts to as if they are live. As far as the voicemails go, when we play voicemails, oftentimes the people that call in are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're just bonkers people. Regularly, right-wingers will write in. When some crazy right-winger calls in and says something nuts on a voicemail, they will say the voicemails are staged. Those are not real right-wingers. No actual right-wingers watch David's show. None of them call in. And those are David's friends. Oftentimes they say, I also have no friends, but doesn't matter. For the purposes of the staged voicemails, I guess I do have friends. And it's funny when they say, no right-wingers listen to the show. Well, you're listening to the show and writing in, aren't you? So at least some right-wingers must do that. The voicemails, shockingly, are very real. And in fact, we get so many of them. Right now, there are 3,600 voicemails we haven't listened to yet. That's how many voicemails we get, many of them from right-wingers. Obviously, I've been accused of being demonic and satanic and using the show as a vector for Satanism. I am just culturally Jewish. I'm not satanic. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not a socialist. All of these things, I'm just like a basic social democrat, cultural Jew. That's it. But the demonic and satanic accusations are a common one. Another one I'm regularly accused of is that I'm playing a character on the show. And what people tend to mean by this is that I don't really believe the things I say. So like, I might have some real belief about abortion deep down, but the view about abortion I say on the show isn't my real view. Or I have some real view about religion, but the view I say on the show is like a crafted or curated one. That is not only obviously untrue, it's really stupid. Like, why would I do that? And the people usually saying this stuff think the views that I express are disastrous views. Why would I concoct disastrous views? It just doesn't really make any sense. I'm given talking points every day. The show is funded by George Soros or wealthy Jews or the Democratic Party or MSNBC. Why would MSNBC fund a show that has nothing to do with MSNBC? Like, a lot of these people aren't thinking. So those are a bunch of the things I'm accused of. Now, here's one that is actually genuinely sad. Several dozen folks over the years have written in expressing that they feel I'm communicating with them one by one through some kind of subtext. So, for example, and this really is sad. I'm not making a diagnosis, but this seems more like mental illness than anything else. I've gotten messages from people who say, you know, David, I notice that while you're talking about one issue, you're blinking in Morse code a different message to me. And that's genuinely sad. And it's really a conversation about mental health. And I've gotten a bunch of those. The idea that, people think if you listen to every fourth word I say, it's a special message to them specifically, or that sort of stuff. And that's not funny at all. That's actually, I mean, we need to increase access to mental health services and that sort of thing. I'm not communicating anything other than what I am actually saying. But that gives you sort of an idea of the spectrum of what we deal with on a daily basis.